Guess who's back? Back again. Juljas back. How to do Conquest. Conquest. How to do. Please stop singing, you fool. Well, again, my intro is just somehow going downwards in a spiral of death and destruction, because this intro is horrible, but you guys enjoy it, that's why I'll do it. But my god, it's really embarrassing. Well, today, you know what, I had a lot of questions and comments of people who just don't really seem to be able to win the conquests and have trouble doing it. So today I'm here, I'll tell you how to solve these problems, and I'll tell you how I win conquests. Now, before I start with this, I'll give you a general tip, which is just play each conquest which you have unlocked at least once on both sides, because then you can see a bit how the flow of the war goes. I'd say about play 20 to 30 rounds, and you'll automatically see which theaters your allies are doing okay and which one they're doing bad in. This is the very general tip, and then you know where you have to help and where you should maybe choose your country. Which right brings me to my second point, is choose your country wisely. So choose it also basing on your aim. If you want to just easily get coins, easily win, for example, take in 1798, take the Dutch, because it's just easy, you get easy money. But if you want a challenge, you can for example take Poland, and you can take Portugal. Just depends what your aim is. Advice number 3 should be very obvious, but I'm still gonna bring it for people who don't really know. Go on this little hat button and get yourself some good generals. Save up, get some good generals. If you want to buy them, then buy them, whatever. But just, I mean, I have made some little videos on them. It gives you some general tips, which generals are useful. Maybe that, just choose some generals and they'll be super helpful, and put the generals obviously on the right units. For example, Karl is an infantry. You can see the little infantry symbols here. Use him on infantry and you'll do well. As a first general tip, look at your starting units, because your starting units often have the advantage they start with XP. For example, Poland. If I'll choose Poland now, I'll see, oh look, I've got some good units and they already have XP. For example, this is a Grenadier. Grenadier is one of my favorite units, so I'm gonna stick Karl on here. So I already have Karl on a better level than he otherwise would be, and you have a general here too. And just look what your starting units are and what you can do with them. And now the next thing is, which I also myself often forget, is use your military academy. If you don't have one, build one, and you can build, especially out advise you to use blasts and forced march. Blast, you can bring down the HP of a city. For example, let's say if I would blast Krakow, it would lose some of its city HP. If you use forced march, your units can walk really far. So these two are the real good ones. The rest of the military academy things are not that useful, don't use them. As my 6th tip is, really try to control the flow of the war. Now that sounds a bit weird what I'm saying, because it's not really something very concrete, but look at the map. Look, for example, if Italy for your side is going really bad, what do? You try to help Italy. If Scandinavia is going really bad, help Scandinavia. Just look where you're weak and try to control a bit the flow of the war. Pay your allies in, which you want early in, and keep the enemies, like for example Prussia, keep them out as long as you can. Just look what is the right way of doing it. Now the 7th tip is something which sounds obvious, but you still have to do it. And you do win wars by taking cities. Don't try to attack just random units. For example, now here I would attack Krakow and attack the cities. Don't attack this artillery here, because you won't get anything from it. You have to lower the city HP and get cities. That's how you advance. Don't try to kill generals and don't try to kill units. The most ones get killed off anyways if you just defend your cities. Attack where cities are. I would now just, if I would play this game, actually I would just smack everything against Krakow and just we'll take Krakow, we'll take this city, and just bash into the HRE. What also is quite a good strategy is sometimes, let me end the turn here, sometimes if you play Conquest and you have all the enemies fighting on your front line, just go behind the line, attack cities behind the line, and you'll have quite a good success actually, because the AI is somehow not smart enough to defend all cities which are behind the main front line, which would be here now, for example, for me. Now, a point which I kind of am repeating from before is help struggling allies. Like I said before, look at the map, you'll see, oh, let's look at the map now. I mean, still really early, mostly early game, you won't really have struggling allies. If you see, for example, France is struggling a lot here, try to help them by sending units or pay them money. Now, mostly, if you go here, you can see which nations still have money. Here's gold and tech. And if you see a nation has no tech and no gold anymore, you could maybe help them. But if you actually look at Spain, they still have gold and tech. Don't give them, because they still have. They don't really need it. Don't just pay into a country that's already full of money. It won't help. Now again, if you see here on the top right, there is a little tax icon. That means that every unit which you have has a certain amount of population point it uses. Here, for example, he would have 6. Trying to mark it, but it doesn't work. Anyway, you see it right next to the cavalry symbol, and that uses up points for tax. And you should try to stay in that limit, because otherwise you'll get less income each round, which you will. This isn't really. Sometimes, you know, you're doing well, you're doing fine. You don't really need the money, but you can still give it to your allies, and that's where it will be very useful. Now the next point is something I can't show you in this conquest, I guess. If you have a nation with a wonder, use your wonders at the right time. Look what boosts your wonders have. For example, America has extra infantry movement, Spain has extra naval movement. I would have here extra cavalry defense as Prussia. And just try to pay attention to where it can be useful. You know, for example, right, it's the beginning of the war and a lot of cavalry is going to fight. Use it then, and just look where it's helpful. Well, these have been some of my general tips. It's not actually 11 tips, so it's not like top 10 tips, but still. With these tips, you should do better if you can't win everyone, but really try to follow them. Look at the most important ones. I'd say the most important ones is try to control the flow of the war, like who joins and the donating. And yeah, try to use the right units. The units which you like the most, just use them. Like I always use militia or grenadiers. Anyways, if you still want other help, look at my top 10 videos, top 10 trips. Look at all the which countries are good for what, and maybe that will help you. Anyways, I hope you guys could learn something from this video. Please, if you enjoyed the content, subscribe. And this week it's not out yet. This video it's not out yet, but as it looks like for the next video we'll have reached the 600 subscribers. That means I'm going to do the super painful tribal union. Well, screw me. Anyways, subscribe if you like to see me suffer. And please still tell me in the comment section for this video what kind of challenge ideas I still could do for a next subscriber goal, or any ideas for a subscriber goal. Anyways, have a nice day and goodbye.